Yep.
Okay. Thank you for coming, Demo and John Koerner.
Konnichiwa, Shin-san.
Konnichiwa. Today we are going to make an online interview about Pigato 2020 and Watervale Riesling 2018. So could you make some short greeting to Japanese people, and let's make a short interview about Pigato after that.
Hello everyone in Japan from South Australia. Nice to see you all through Zoom, and hope you're all doing well over there. Thanks for the continued support with our wines, and yeah, look forward to having a little chat with Shin about the Pigato and the Watervale.
Thanks. OK、今からですね、ピガート2020年のリリースに合わせまして、作り手である、コーナーワインの、レーモンさんとジョノさんに、ちょっとインタビューを行っていきたいと思います。Sorry for making Japanese expression. Okay, so first question is, how would you explain the concept of Pigato or position in the Koerner wines portfolio?
The Pigato is sort of probably our most untraditional wine, I guess, in our whole portfolio. The general idea is to make something that's just easy drinking, fun, nice in summer and in warmer weather. It's white wine made by fermenting the grapes on skins. So, but it's obviously pretty different to a normal white wine. So we just try and say, enjoy the wine for what it is. Don't think too hard about it. And yeah, Jono might have something to add.
Yeah, it's all about drinkability for us. So, like Damon said, summer's days. It's a great wine for cleaning the palate in between courses at a restaurant. But yeah, just very expressive, real sort of peach iced tea, refreshingness to the wine. But I mean, it's like Dan was saying, something quite different in terms of tradition in the Clare Valley. So we travelled around Italy, and we fell in love with the Vermentinos over there, and we thought there was drinkability there, so we wanted to try and give something a crack that was a little bit left from the norm.
So what is the first vintage for Pigato?
2014. We made 10 dozen.
10 dozen?
Yeah, the first one we ever released. A whole 10 dozen.
How did you come to the idea of skin fermented Vermentino?
I think it was sort of at that time where skin contact wines were just becoming a bit more common, and everyone was kind of playing with them. And we thought, let's give it a go. It makes a lot of sense with Vermentino because the grapes are very large, and the side of the grape that sees the sun has a lot of flavour in the skin. So it seems a waste to throw the skins away. Whereas Riesling, the other option would be Riesling, but I think Riesling's too tannic. So we thought, let's try it on Vermentino, and yeah, we made a whole 10 dozen, and it worked really well. Everyone loved it. So yeah, that's kind of how it came about.
Yeah, and we tried a few different things. We've tried it with oak and ceramic egg, but now we're just working with stainless steel, just going back to how we did it in the first place.
Right. Okay, so I want to ask about the vineyard for Pigato. I will share my species display here. So this is the vineyard patchwork of Koerner wine.
Yep.
And this parcel is for the Vermentino, this orange part.
Yeah. Yep. That's the
all grapes for Pigato come from here.
Yep.
Great.
So that vineyard, Dad planted that back in 2009. So he he did a lot of research, and yeah, he looked into it, and he thought, well, Vermentino works with a drier sort of Mediterranean climate, so that's kind of what we've got up in Clare. So he planted it, yeah, back in 2019, gave it a crack, and it's paid off. The vineyard's on a northern aspect, so as Damon was saying before, the sun gets the outside of the skins and it bronzes them right up, and it gets that afternoon sun, so it's nice and hot. But then the inside of the fruit's nice and green. It's almost like two grapes in one. It just keeps the natural acid inside and then ripens up right on the outside. But you got some other stuff to add to that?
And the whole vineyard's Terra Rossa soil, so I think you can see in all of our wines from the limestone under the red clay, you get a beautiful sort of soft texture, talc powder-like characters, you know, that minerality. So yeah, it's probably sort of 50 centimetres of red clay, then just metres and metres of limestone, which I think for these styles of wine really adds a nice character.
Right. Sorry, what did you say? When did your dad plant Vermentino? What year?
2009.
2009. Okay. Okay, so how about the vintage 2020?
It ended up being a very good vintage. The growing season was very hard. It was super hot, super dry. Obviously, we had all those bushfires in Australia. So yeah, it was pretty tricky getting through the growing season. Because it was so hot and dry, the yields were a lot lower. But come vintage time, the weather changed and it was really cool and mild, and it was just a perfect sort of ripening conditions. So vintage was nice and long and spread out, and with the lower yields, you end up with more concentrated flavours and better acids. So the wines from 2020 all look really good. Probably one of, if not the best vintage we've ever had.
How many production?
Maybe 3,500 cases for the vintage.
That's for
in
everything.
total, Koerner wine?
Yeah.
How about Pigato 2020?
990. So it's the biggest product.
Thank you for sending over 100 cases to Japan.
You're welcome. Biggest allocation.
Thank you very much. Great. Okay, so could you explain about winemaking of Pigato?
Basically, we make the Pigato exactly the same as we make our red wines. So the fruit is destemmed, but not crushed. So we try and retain whole berries. It's fermented on the skins for around 20 days. It's hand plunged once or twice a day. And then basically we after it's 20 days on skins, we press it and then leave it in a tank for about 7 days. So all the big solids drop out. Then we rack it and put it back into a steel tank and leave it on fine lees for probably 7 months. And then we rack it again. At that point, we give it 50 parts total sulfur. We don't add anything else throughout the whole process. And then we bottle it. No fining, no filtration, hence why it's a little bit cloudy. So yeah, it's hands off. Just yeah, it's really.
So we show the photos of winemaking here. So this is the photo before pressing, right?
Yes. That's when the ferment has finished just, and the fruit starts to drop a bit.
Yep.
But so when that happens, we put a lid on top of the fruit and just leave it to sit on the skins for maybe another 5 days, just to let it all mix together. And then
all grapes have keep the whole berry.
Sorry,
Not all of them.
50 or
no, 50%.
Uh-huh.
So you get a little bit of carbonic maceration happening within the individual berries.
So 50 of all grapes keeps whole berry, and another 50 immediately pressed off, or?
Oh no, it's 100% all on skins.
Oh yeah.
But maybe 50% stay as whole berries, 50% just get a little bit crushed up.
Ah, okay. Got it. Thank you. Then result. The wine looks like this appearance. Not too cloudy, but it has got a very pale gold color.
A slight haze, yeah.
Flavor.
It's very pale color as a orange wine.
Yeah.
We describe it as a stepping stone towards an orange wine. It's quite gentle, it's clean, it's got beautiful citrus characters, it's not overpowering, so we think it sits just in between.
Yeah, I agree. That's the most attractive point of Pigato, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. At last, could you explain about the taste of Pigato and like food pairing for Pigato?
Well, I guess it's quite floral on the nose, and then when you drink it, we always say it's like a peach iced tea. I get some nice nashy pear characters as well, and as Damon said, there's that beautiful powderiness, and the Clare Valley citrus really shines through. Nice minerality from the limestone, but just real soft, pleasurable texture. With any sort of white meat, any sort of seafood dish, I find spice as well works really well with it.
Very good with Japanese food.
Yeah, some nice sashimi. It just sort of complements the food, doesn't overpower. Yeah, it looks nice.
Right.
The 2020, the citrus character I find is a lot stronger than previous vintages. The sort of peach iced tea is a little bit softer, and there's a lot more sort of lemon lime going on this year,
Which appeals to me. I really like the citrus character coming through.
Yeah. And then I think maybe because there's a little bit more acid this year, that helps pronounce that.
Is nashi pear popular in Australia?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you have
No.
farm there, or do you import from Japan?
No, people grow it here. Yeah.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, thank you for explanation of Pigato. We will launch Pigato 2020 probably at the end of November in Japan. ピガト2020年ですけれども、今お話聞いたヴィンテージは、まだ日本では、リリースが今の時点ではされておらず、ちょうどこの動画を公開するタイミングになると思いますが、11月の、中旬から後半にかけて、日本ではリリースされる見込みとなっています。楽しみにしていただければと思います。OK, thank you for explanation, デーモンさん、ジョノさん。
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay. Let's